All right, family Black Power. Y'all already know what it is. We got that fire tonight. Don't you go nowhere. Stay all the way to the end of the video. You do not want to miss this. That's right. Get over to the General's Patreon page. Link right there in the top of the chat. It's the hardest, most poppin'est Patreon page on the planet. You feel me? Get over there, get that work. Also, KingSeti.com online marketplace. We talking about official General Seti products, t-shirts, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry. We got all that for you. Holistic tonics, we got it for you. Get over there and check it out, family. Make sure you check out all the exclusive membership videos. We got some. We got a hell of a lineup right here on General Seti, Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page. Check out the memberships. And make sure you give a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it, share it with your family and friends, and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because you will get banned. So, yeah, they have begun to release a lot of the emails. I believe this is from the Epstein estate. And man, they coming out with some rogue information. You see what I'm saying about Donald Trump and old Bill Clinton. I don't know who the fuck he put. I guess he must think he goddamn Benjamin Franklin with them funny looking ass glasses. This motherfucker think he Benjamin Franklin or some goddamn body. That motherfucker need to take them goddamn 1,700 glasses off and motherfucker going over there and update his shit. You know what I'm saying? No, sir. This motherfucker, he got one of them long ass noses and shit. So, yeah, them motherfucker damn near at the bottom of his nose. He must be blind in a motherfucker. You got to have him that far off your goddamn eyes just to see that motherfucker blind. But anyway, yeah, they got some rogue information coming out on Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. I'm not going to at all. I'm not at all going to goddamn repeat what was said in the email. I just ain't going to do it. You see what I'm saying? But it's foul as fuck. They say, man, they had a relationship. And then I damn near projected that shit. Cause didn't I say some years? I say, man, they probably, man, no, I said him and Epstein. That's what I said. Ain't that crazy? Y'all go back to them earlier videos when I was talking. I say, man, Donald Trump and Epstein probably was together. You see what I'm saying? That's what I said. I didn't, but nah, they got Epstein saying, man, Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, man. Yeah, man. I ain't no telling. You know what I'm saying? This is wild. This is motherfuckers run the country. These are the motherfuckers that run the country. And you already know. Yeah, they say, man, shit. I don't even know. I don't know what they're gonna do with his ass. You know what I'm saying? They need to get rid of him because don't nobody want that motherfucking office, man. And he up there with all that, man. Don't nobody want that man in office. It's just a black eye in the game. Once you reach that level of degeneracy and people throwing you, and it's time to, you got to free the nation, man, from the vile representation that you done put down. You feel me? And this is vile and real rogue and shit. And I could see why he's fighting not to get that shit out there. Yeah, not even a full year now, but they knew this shit. They already knew this shit. They just kept they tried their best to, because he not the only one. He not the only one. You see what I'm saying? This is most definitely gonna clear out a whole lot of them old motherfuckers because they decrepit. They decrepit, you understand? Degenerates. Decrepit degenerates and shit. You know what I'm saying? And again, and just wanna and just motherfucker want to just curtail all power and shit. You see what I'm saying? I got a vice grip on power where they don't allow nobody else but them, them old elites and shit. But afterward, and then they gonna be releasing more emails, coming from Epstein. It's very, it's deplorable shit. There's no way getting around it, and they need to get him, they need to get him up out of this shit. You see what I'm saying? They need to get his ass up out of office, man. And a few more of them motherfuckers, all of them degenerates. His whole damn cabinet and administration is a bunch of misfits. They're a bunch of misfits, and they feed into the his persona, and so they degenerates themselves. The Secretary of Defense, he ain't nothing but a motherfucking talk show host. He ain't no motherfucker, he ain't no real soldier like that. He don't need to be running no damn. He's motherfucker like a damn frat boy. You know what I'm saying? Like a frat, in college kid and shit. You know what I'm saying? Drinking and shit and binging on beer and shit and all of that shit. Yeah, so yeah, he and the motherfucking the head of the Department of Justice, she ain't nothing but a, you understand what I'm saying? She ain't nothing but what she is. She don't do nothing. She just a goddamn a hired gun, and she do whatever the fuck he tell. Even so all of them is under his complete control. They don't have no sense of independent thought, and so whatever he tell they ass, that's exactly what they gonna do. You see, that's exactly what they gonna do. And you supposed to respect the president, but your cabinet members are supposed to be the best, for that position. They shouldn't have to be, you give them direction, but they supposed to be the best at what they do. You ain't supposed to have a bunch of cabinet full of goddamn yes men and yes women. Thank you, Winston. Yeah, thank you, family. I'm back in here on these beasts. You know I am. Back here on these, and I told you about these beasts. And people, keep, and this is who you supposed to be, and this is who they identify with. See, Winston then came in here and threw me an alley-oop, and so now but these is who these niggas affiliate with. These good, these foundational Negro Americans. You know what I'm saying? They wave the flag, and they root for Donald Slump. Donald Trump, and he, as he continued to be a Neanderthal, one of the greatest Neanderthals of all time. I've never seen, just literally dragging his knuckles on the ground. You feel me? Just literally dragging his knuckles on the ground. And I believe, and with Bill Clinton being what he was, they was all hanging. Now, I didn't know that him and Donald Trump was hanging like that. They got pictures with Bill Clinton and Donald Trump hanging out. You know what I'm saying? I believe this was before, because they looked like they was with two different, then, the women that they with, both of them was with two other different women, so I don't even believe they was married at that time. That was before they got married, or maybe it wasn't. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe it wasn't. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it wasn't. But but to see how degenerate Bill Clinton, he in the fucking Oval Office. You see what I'm saying? He in the fucking Oval Office. He treated the Oval Office like he in the motherfucking, a fucking motel. What's that motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? He had the motel. You see what I'm saying? He had the red roof or some goddamn where. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Motel 8, whatever the fuck that he had Motel 8 and shit. What the fuck? Like, damn, pull on in. You feel me? Let me go on and pull on in and shit. And so, with deploy. So You already know. And then he was, with the woman was young and shit. So you already know. That's how you get down. And so, but what they saying about the motherfucker Donald Trump and Bill Clinton is wild, boy. That's wild. Y'all motherfuckers nasty. You see what I'm saying? And you cannot run, and we cannot have this type of deplorable leadership. But see, this is, these niggas out here rooting for this Neanderthal. You see, you got Negroes out here rooting for this Neanderthal, man. And that's where we got to draw the line. I'm not into none of that. I'm not into none of that. Give me my motherfucking paper and move the fuck on. That's what I'm about. I ain't about all that. Y'all want relationships and shit with these Neanderthals. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to look up. Y'all want to be, y'all like little dogs and shit, waving y'all tail. You understand? Look, master. You see, look, master, we right here for you, master. You see what I'm saying? We right here for you, master. Just what you want me to do? You want your house shoes? I'll go get them for you. Yeah, you want me to get your newspaper? I'll go get it for you, master. They fighting over the newspaper. I got it. I'm gonna get master the newspaper. You see, that's how y'all is out here. Do you know what I'm saying? The foundational Negro Americans. Red, white, and blue. You feel me? MAGA hats. You see Negro MAGA hats and shit. You don't separate yourself from this madness. This is Greek Roman shit. You know what I'm saying? This is Brutus and Caesar, and now they telling on each other just like Brutus and Caesar. One motherfucker want more power than the other, and so then they want to assassinate. They want to assassinate Caesar. Nah, you feel me? But they was together. They was, relationship. And I believe, and I still believe probably him and Epstein, they probably wasn't, listen, ain't no telling. It'll blow your mind. They probably was all together, all three of them and shit. You feel me? Ain't no telling what was going on with them Neanderthals. But we know it's on some Greekish, Romanish shit. And I mean, there's no way, man, peoples of our people who come from divinity like that would ever, you understand what I'm saying, be in alignment with nothing like this, man. It's just this shit is just too much. It's just too much. We got to throw in the towel with all of this, going down these false roads of, of people thinking that this is the right thing. It's not the right thing to do. It's not the goddamn right thing to do. We got to come out of this. We got to come out of this. Thank you, family. We got to come out of this. We got to come out of this. It's going to be just like they fall and you going to fall too. The domino is going to fall and your ass going to fall too. You got, you look at Hillary Clinton. She wanted to be the president. You understand what I'm saying? She probably taking goddamn testosterone what they call it, testosterone pills and shit. You see what I'm saying? Because she got her voice is got more manly than goddamn Bill Clinton voice. You see what I'm saying? Her motherfucking voice more manly than goddamn Bill Clinton voice. Shit. Real talk. So ain't no telling what's going on with she's manly. So ain't no telling she probably was over there too doing some. She probably was with with Donald Trump wife. You see? Yeah. 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 But anyway, yeah, that's all. That's all. You know what I'm saying? But it's out here, and it's more coming out. The emails is coming out. The emails is coming out, and you gonna find out that that's why he don't want the shit to come out. And the reality is now he's snitching on Bill Clinton because maybe he feel like Bill Clinton probably feel like Bill Clinton, should have been trying to, pull back the Democrats and shit from, pushing for, for the release the emails and the Epstein file. And so anybody, if he calling Bill Clinton name out, obviously he knows something about Bill Clinton. You see what I'm saying? He he knows something about Bill Clinton, and so he figured if he going down, you know what I'm saying, Bill Clinton going down. Then he called the guy that owned the bank. What was it? Chase. You understand what I'm saying? Guy that owned Chase and shit, the Chase Bank. So he calls his name out. But ain't that the guy that been talking shit about him for a while? Yeah, I think that's the guy that been talking shit about him, talking about economically and shit that he's, all that. I believe that's him. I believe that's him, the guy that been talking shit about him on the internet. And I believe what's that guy's name? Sachs. Sachs. You know what I'm saying? I know that's the bank, but this guy's he's supposed to be some like economic wizard and shit, and he be up there. He up there always, where he, be criticizing Donald Trump for how he handling China and the tariffs and shit, saying the shit he doing is destroying the economy and shit. And so I see him putting videos up every other fucking day. And so I believe he called his name too. What's his name? Let me see if that is him. I wonder if that's him. I don't believe that's him right there, but it's another guy that be up there. He be on Donald Trump head. But shit, this might be him. That ain't him, but it's another guy that really be on his head. And he's starting to drop. And anybody that he know who been over to the island. He knows who been over to the island. So, he not gonna go down by himself. And I believe a lot of people in power is really willing to let him tell on the other people just so that they can reposition themselves in power. Long as he go, they don't give a fuck who else he implement in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Indict and shit. They don't give a fuck. That's sacrifice. That's a necessary sacrifice for them to get in power. Long as he go, they don't give a damn. So whether he takes Bill Clinton ain't nobody. Bill Clinton is already a lame duck. You see what I'm saying? He's already a lame duck. And then when the Supreme Court gave the president immunity, you know what I'm saying? You can't prosecute the goddamn president. Then you see, what you gonna do? You can't prosecute him. What you gonna do? Well, I guess for children, but still, they saying it don't make no motherfucking difference what he did. You see what I'm saying? If he was the president when he did it, now I don't know if he was over there before he was the president. You see what I'm saying or not? But they saying that you can't prosecute the president, somebody that was the president. You see, so that's fucking, that's insane. That's insane. And so, but I believe it's gonna come out. It's gonna fucking come out. They just released this email I guess yesterday. And then the first email where Epstein said that Donald Trump was in there with the girls and shit. I seen one picture and he was all in there with them young girls. Donald Trump, he was in there with all them the young girls in there smiling and shit and this, that, and the third. Man, Donald Trump is out of there, man. He need to go. You can't keep him in there, man. You know what I'm saying? At this point, he's worthless. You know what I'm saying? Now that it's clear that it's coming out, and that's why he's fighting to make sure it don't come. But with these two alone, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not the one that just came out, he said he was with some of the girls and And I don't know what they meant by he was with him. I don't know if he was sitting down conversating with him or he was with him. You know what I'm saying? It just said that he was with some of the girls. So I don't know what with means. Does it mean that he was, sitting down, or was he in, having some type of relationship with the girls and shit? You can, but it needs to be stated, clearly what that means. And but this other shit that, man, he's been with Bill Clinton, and say Vladimir Putin got the fucking the evidence. Got the evidence. They say he got pictures. Man, I know good and goddamn well, man. You know what I'm saying? They say they got pictures, man. Man, I ain't watched the news. I know this man's got to be. I know Donald Trump is like, man, we gonna see how he respond to this shit. You see what I'm saying? Because, you the motherfucking president, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Shit, he might have motherfucking knocked off, man. He probably in a predicament where he might have to have motherfucking knocked off straight up to close some of them doors up, because they releasing that shit. You see what I'm saying? And, and they probably got thousands of the man's emails. That's crazy. And just 2 emails then already rocked the fucking world with this man. They didn't already 2 emails then rock the world. This one is like cold blooded. I couldn't even know. They were saying, and I just seen the shit. Yeah, man, and yeah, Too Short, Freaky Tale. These are the tales, the freaky. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, motherfucker, Too Short, Freaky Tales. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here? Like, man, I had to close my ears, man, straight up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man of the ancestors. I can't listen to no shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? I'm a man of the ancestors. I can't be in here listening to no goddamn, brutish frequencies like that. You see what I'm saying? Shit, no, sir. I cannot even let that shit pass my ears, man. They say, goddamn it, God say it's an abomination. You know what I'm saying? They say it was taught to me that an abomination to God. You say God turned his. That's what they say. When I went to Catholic school, man, and they said an abomination is the most hideous sin that can be committed. And they say an abomination to God, say when God turns his face on it. You see, that's what they teach. God turns his face on it. So, nigga, I don't want, nigga, I'm like, whoa, bear witness. I don't want to bear no witness. I don't want to bear no witness. You feel me? I just look at the titles of the video. I listen and shit. And when I just listen to the video, I don't want to see shit. And when I heard what they said, I say, what the fuck did this man just say? What did I sit here and listen to? Say this man, I say, what the fuck is going on, man? Is these the people running this country? Man, is these, and yeah, but they want to act like they so against that shit. See, but that just show you something. They want to act like they so against that shit, but yet it's still behind the scenes. Yeah, they all, they dilly-dallying and shit. Yeah, unclean, filthy, beast, beast of the field. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, beast, low down, you know what I'm saying? And nothing but demonic entities, you see? And running the country now. Running the goddamn country. Yeah. Say make Muslims right, and it's a damn shame. and King Kush, you say make a Muslim wash his ear and eyes. You got to be careful with some of them motherfucking some of them goddamn motherfuckers over there. You know what I'm saying? You used to think that goddamn, even within the Islam, you see, and you gonna be surprised that you understand what I'm saying? When you come from that Neanderthal bloodline, you can be whatever religion you want to be. You see, it's in your goddamn nature. So some of them over there, yeah, you believe it till you get behind them goddamn them closed doors. They be over there, assalamu alaikum, assalamu fakum. You see what I'm saying? You had to go out there with that bamboo stick. You had to go out there with that bamboo stick and shit and, throw water on them and beat the shit out of them. You feel me? You understand what I'm saying? If catch motherfuckers doing all that crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? For real. You motherfucker, hey, you throw hot water on their ass and get that bamboo stick. You feel me? And bow, you understand what I'm saying? Be over there cracking their ass. You feel me? You got to bring them back to, you can't bring them back to civilization, but you got to let them know that they can't act like that amongst the righteous. You can't act like that amongst the righteous, man. You see, you got to set a precedence. You got to set a motherfucking precedence out there. But he most definitely should be removed. He most definitely should be removed at this point in time. Especially, because, man, how deplorable, man. You know what I'm saying? How deplorable. How low we going to go? How many more of these emails we going to be forced? And when you destroy the morale of the nation, but see, the thing is, when it came to the British, I respect how they did his ass, that motherfucker Prince Andrew. You see what I'm saying? I'm not with no Neanderthal regardless, but I see how they did him. Charles and shit, he stripped his ass. He stripped, and that was his brother. He stripped his ass of everything. He ain't got shit. He took all his titles. You see what I'm saying? I believe they even took his last name. He couldn't even, I don't believe he can call himself a Windsor. I think they come from the Windsor bloodline. They even took his last name. They made him they made him take a name or some before they became the Windsors and shit. Yeah, they made that motherfucker go back to an ancient name. Like, you no longer a Windsor and shit. Took his name, took all his titles, all that, no duke or nothing, no prince. He took all that shit, took his military, even took his military titles. Took all that. Motherfucker can't, he can come to a couple of functions, but they don't even want him at the functions because he's a stain. You know what I'm saying? He's a stain on they system of royalty. You see? So they, and so I mean, because if it looked like they are, okay with that, you see what I'm saying? They condone that. Then they gonna get ready. They're gonna be ready to get rid of the institution of royalty over there. They're gonna be like, fuck y'all. Y'all let this man be with little girls, and then y'all let him keep titles, and we paying for the his estates and shit and all of that. So he stripped him down, and the government need to do the same with Donald Trump. They need to strip him. You see what I'm saying? And let the world know that the United States don't condone no type of sick, demented activities like that. But it's the same thing with the Catholic Church. You see what I'm saying? Where they let all them bishops and all them cardinals and shit, and before they was really pushing, that they, have accountability for that shit. You feel me? They would just move them around to another parish and shit, and then they'll go and they'll start all over again, get a whole new parish of victims and shit. I say, well, goddamn, y'all like vampires moving from one motherfucking, I mean, literally like vampire, Motherfucker suck all the blood out of one village and then motherfucker go off to the next village and start all over and shit. You see what I'm saying? Bleeding them dry. You know, bleeding them dry. That's all they doing is on some vampire shit. But so that just show you the consistency of these Neanderthals. You feel me? That show you the consistency. Say Trump time is too short. Yeah, man, too long. His time in office is too fucking long. He need to get the fuck on up out of there, man. Don't nobody want no, and you up in there, and they saying you doing what? Oh no, man. No, sir. But like I said, I don't identify with that bullshit. You see? Yeah. Yeah. No, the worst thing you could do is touch children. The worst crime you could commit on the planet is violating children. You see what I'm saying? Violating children. And you know, and violating women is near that, but nothing is because a child is innocent. You see what I'm saying? You know, and you know, when you doing shit like that, man, and just and after children is violating women and elders and shit. You know what I'm saying? But children are innocent. You know, they supposed to be they supposed to have protection and for these kids to and the crazy shit about it is a lot of these parents listen to me because you know what I'm saying. I was studying a lot of that shit, especially with them goddamn Catholics and shit. Man, they parents was like, what the? I mean, like, how in the fuck is these people doing this to your children like this, and y'all acting like y'all don't see what the fuck is going on? You see, a lot of them sacrifice their children to them damn vampires. They do. A lot of them knew what was going on. I was listening to some stories and shit, and these priests would be coming over to their houses and shit, and you know, pretending like they up in the room praying with the kid while the parents out in the yard playing and shit. And you got this man in your house in the room with your children, and he supposed to be in there having like a counseling session and shit. Boy Scouts too. And so this is your Americanism that these niggas is talking about. You know, all this Greekish, freakish shit. You see what I'm saying? All this Greekish, freakish shit. And you know, this is Americanism. So that's why, you know, I'm no sir. I don't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I may be, you know, quote unquote a citizen, but I don't honor none of it. That's my, you know, by default of my life, I'm here. That's the default of my life and shit. You see what I'm saying? That I was born, and I, you know, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. That, you know, that being here is for a reason for me to take, you know, my energy and rise up out of this shit. But at the same time, you know, I have no honor for nothing that these people have done and continue to do. And I do not, I never, you know, say that it's we. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with no fucking we. That's them. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of you niggas, you got that we sick boss syndrome. You know, we, every time y'all motherfuckers say we, you know, and we red, white, and blue until the red, white, and blue pull up on your ass and beat you with the motherfucking club and tell you, nigga, get your ass out the car. You see what I'm saying? Get your ass up out the car and shit. Then you see what this red, white, and blue shit really about. You see what I'm saying? You see what this goddamn United States shit is really about. Real talk. Real talk. Real motherfucking talk. You see? So, yeah. Yeah, that's, you know, so, you know, we're going to wait for the next, you know, the next emails, but I don't think they're going to be able to take too much. I don't think they're going to be able to take too much more of this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have to, they're going to, if the next shit is critical, they're going to have a vote. And if it's it's already critical. But I think if they come with one or two more, you understand what I'm saying? They're going to have to get him out of there, man. They're going to have to get him out. There's no way you could destroy the morale of the nation when the head is a deplorable degenerate. Yeah, thank you, family. Yeah. they're gonna have to get his ass up out of there. You see what I'm saying? You're killing the morality, the moral, the morality energy of the nation. You see what I'm saying? The moral. You see, of the nation. You got to get him up out of there. You see, you got to get him up out of there before people start, just don't want to believe no more. You see, people going, just going, they're going to not even involve themselves in the politics. And this very well, a lot of people, it might be the death of this, this might be one of the last nails in the motherfucking coffin, man, for politics in America. I don't believe it's just like everything, man. When you look at even the hip hop shit, people think that everything is moving in on the same frequency. You see hip hop, they talking about it's not, and people got rap fatigue. They don't even want to listen to the shit no more. Say this is the first time in over 35 years where a rap song has not charted on the top 40. You see what I'm saying? It's just not, people not even really listening to it. You see, the NBA, the viewership is down. What they say, I think down 53%. Everything is decreasing right now because of the fact it's so fake. Everything is fake. Everything is low energy. You see what I'm saying? Everything is fake and low fucking energy. So it's time for us to separate. You see, it's time for us to separate but this is where we talk about morality. Where do you stand on morality? Where, you know what I'm saying? And this is where your culture, most definitely in the times of where it's uncertainty, you fall back on your history. You see what I'm saying? Near and far. Some of y'all try to discard and try to cut the hand off. You see, of your ancestors that are always trying to reach through time to hand you a blueprint for success, and here you trying to sever the arm of your own ancestors and wonder why you in the predicament. If you follow behind these Neanderthals, you are destined for doom. You are destined for doom. You see what I'm saying? And many of y'all don't understand when it ain't about, you don't have to sit up here and degrade. You just separate. You just separate from it. You ain't got to, degrade, because that's gonna bring a certain, but you don't have to associate yourself with it. And the flag and all the blood on the flag and shit. Y'all accept that? Y'all accept that? I don't accept that. I don't want to own none of that. I didn't have nothing to do with it. You see, and many of our ancestors perished under that flag. They didn't never show our ancestors no respect. You understand? Even the soldiers. And I don't discard the soldiers. They shouldn't be, because if this your day and time, you gonna fight for whoever in a nation, and your babies and your family, you gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? But then to come home and even they own motherfucker be out there in the streets. Motherfucker been to war, motherfucking leg blowed off, arm blowed off. Motherfucker can't even go down to the veterans office, man, and get fucking help. You see what I'm saying? Hold on, family. I left my cord. This motherfucker about to go dead. Hold on. Okay, let's get that shit in there. All right, boom. Yeah. Well, the only time I believe you should fight if they coming to fuck with yours. If they come to, if they come to this soil, I do believe we should fight. You see what I'm saying? For ours, because they ain't gonna distinguish you from nobody else, but going somewhere else and fighting, I don't believe in that shit. And I just believe we need to be separating ourselves from them, and that's why a lot of motherfuckers, when you think about getting the fuck on, a lot of people want to get the fuck on because they see that eventually somebody gonna get sick and tired of this shit and gonna want a motherfucking attack. You see what I'm saying? Gonna want a motherfucking attack. I don't think we should sit on our hands if they come over here and they not distinguishing between nobody over here and they want to bring death and destruction. That's something different than going to somebody else's homeland or something. You see what I'm saying? But that's another reason why some of our ancestors, was thinking like, somebody one day they're gonna want, you understand, they're gonna want to retaliate. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna want to retaliate for what didn't happen to, they people and shit. So you sitting over here, you identifying with this shit. I'm not identifying with nothing. These people didn't, that's just like identifying with your own ancestors. They humiliation and mutilation and shit. You might as well identify with your own ancestors, humiliation, and you see what I'm saying? And the fucking things that they did to our ancestors, you know what I'm saying? You might as well champion that if you gonna goddamn if you gonna identify with the flag and everything that they done did under it. I don't give a fuck about none of that, man. I don't and never will identify with it. You see, so a lot of people, understand that one day, everybody gonna have to pay for their motherfucking sins. So you fly it, and then that's everything. Everything that motherfucking been done under that is coming back to your ass too. So if you want to sign off, go right on the motherfucking head, because your ass, they gonna get your ass right along with their ass. So you go ahead, motherfucker, sign on. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, well, motherfuckers over there, man, I done heard a story. Most motherfuckers went to war. They were just trying to get back home. You know what I'm saying? They were just trying to get back home, But, they was, I done heard stories of them motherfuckers over there doing real ridiculous shit. You know what I'm saying, to the people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, motherfuckers was like, man, they ain't buy that shit. Some of them people, some of them soldiers over there didn't buy that shit neither. You see what I'm saying? They was over there doing fucked up shit to them peoples. You know what I'm saying? Just because they could. It wasn't, talking about Geneva, they were supposed to be like, the code, Geneva rules and shit and all of that shit, of shit you ain't supposed to be doing. Yeah, they was over there doing all type of ruthless shit. You know what I'm saying? Raping the women's and shit, killing them for no reason and shit. You know what I'm saying? I say, oh man. But the bro, they wasn't all over there letting that shit fly. Motherfuckers was over there doing that dumb shit. They was getting their ass up out of there. Believe that. They, you know what I'm saying? If you was just a low down, dirty ass motherfucker, and you over there was killing, yeah, right on. Listen, man, listen to me, man. When I was telling, man, listen, man, I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna say it like this. I was listening to stories, man, like when the brothers and shit was coming home, and it was like they was coming, I believe, I don't know, but they was getting off the plane or some shit, man. And they was coming into, I don't know what type of facility they was coming in, and they would look up on the wall, and all the soldiers was signing their names on the wall and shit. You know what I'm saying? Talking about how many Viet Cong they had killed. And these was white boys, and they were saying, yeah, I got me about 7, 8 Viet Cong, and got me some niggas too. Got me some niggas too. Shot me some niggas too. Man, y'all don't know they was over there, man. They be over in them, and that's crazy because you over there and y'all, and you supposed to be United States and you supposed to be over there. Y'all supposed to be united. It's some bullshit now, but y'all supposed to be united as quote unquote the United States Army. But they actually, not only is they fighting the people who country they in, they actually over there fighting each other. The blacks and the whites. Yeah, they would do sneaky shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, roll motherfucking grenades in motherfuckers' tents. Man, real talk. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they was doing wild shit, man, over there. They know that bullshit. Yeah, they was over there doing crazy shit to each other. You know, the brothers had to, you know, stand up, you know what I'm saying? Because they was doing crazy shit. So, you know, that just show you right there. You know what I'm saying? You going to war for this beast and you got to go over there. You got to watch the people you in their country, and then you got to watch your back with the white boys. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Brother told me he buried 300 alive, still screaming and crying while they dumping the dirt. I believe it. I believe it. I mean, you got to be like, I mean, I don't know what type of motherfucker. Yeah, you got to be a sick mother, you know what I'm saying? You got to be a sick motherfucker. You know, but anyway, you over there in war. Ain't no motherfucker over there. If you went to war, nigga, you was in, you know, you was in a living hell, especially Vietnam and all them wars. You see what I'm saying? Them was some brutal motherfucking wars. World War II, World fucking Korean War, Vietnam, all that shit. After Vietnam, you know, that's when the United States became so sophisticated to where motherfuckers, you know, they could fucking, you know, fuck your ass up for real, you know. They got real sophisticated after that. But, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's a living hell to be in, you know what I'm saying? And the shit that I heard, like, whoa, the shit that they was doing to them people, that they, and the fact that like they doing, and they killing, they was over there they was killing niggas. Like the shit that you see right over here, they brought that shit onto the battlefield. So not only was they over there fighting them, they was still into that, you know what I'm saying? What was going on right here, all the, you know, lynching, and just, you might as well say lynching and shit. They lynching niggas and while they on the battlefield. If they seen a nigga just wandering off and shit, motherfucker, pick him off and shit. You know what I'm saying? Pick him off. You know, and you know, and knowing them motherfuckers, you know, I could imagine get one of the Viet Cong gun, keep the motherfucker, and then pick niggas off with it. And they, you know, you know, so they don't have no American, you know, get hit by no American. And then some of them, you know, bomb, you know, they drop bombs on the motherfucking their own soldiers and shit and all of that. Yeah, on purpose. Probably on purpose a lot of times. I believe it. I ain't never heard of it, but I believe it. I done heard some crazy shit. So, you know, I heard some shit. Yeah, I did. I remember some shit. I remember, you know, a couple of, you know, individual times where I did hear something about the sister, some crazy shit. That was a while back. Yeah, that was a while back. That was when, you know, that's when right around when they was over there in Iraq. You know what I'm saying? I heard some crazy shit about what was the fuck going on over there. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, about the bases and shit, because I know they had brought some shit up with one of the sisters that got, you know, was captured over there. And then they was talking about, at that time I was hearing some shit about the bases and shit and some things going on over there. And I was like, wow, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? But I believe they supposedly had cracked down on whatever the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying? But you got these niggas in the military. You know what I'm saying? Man, please. Should have been tightening their motherfucking ass up in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You supposed to be in the military, you in there really with the same racism and shit, You in there with the same motherfucking racism. That's but I guess that's what niggas got to do to put, meals on the table. You feel what I'm saying? Then pour bleach. I think I heard about that. Yeah, that's real fucking wild. They needed to, man, motherfuckers' wigs would have been split up in that bitch. Straight up. That's why I believe some of them soldiers went off. But see, that's why they sent some to do some, tighten some of their ass up. Some of these motherfucking niggas that be coming through there and doing crazy shit, they be the revenge of the ancestors coming through there to tighten their ass up for all that wicked shit that they doing. Them motherfuckers wicked. They wicked, man. Especially you get in them certain institutions like the military where you be out somewhere and it's just them and shit. And then you under military rule and shit. You under military law. You know what I'm saying? Where, it's damn near like where they got jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? They got motherfucking jurisdiction. And where it's up to they commanders and shit, they generals and shit on how shit should proceed. You know what I'm saying? I think they have a certain jurisdiction where that they in control of certain shit that go on them bases. They don't just let these regular judges and shit infiltrate that goddamn military like that. You feel me? But yeah. Say Ho Chi Minh was a student of Marcus Garvey. What? They used to ask the black people, why would you fight for a country that doesn't respect you and your culture? That's right. Yeah, I was seeing all of that. Them niggas, them niggas didn't have no answer for it. Some of them over there was into their black power over there though. Some of them, they had some of them niggas over there. They was rocking they black. They was over there black power too. You see what I'm saying? They were saying that when they killed Martin Luther King and motherfucker Malcolm X, they had to take their guns and shit. Told them motherfuckers to put their guns into the armory because they felt like niggas might motherfucking nut up. Fucker, you feel me? So, it was still some black, it was still some black power frequency moving through that motherfucker. They had to. Cause them white boys was most definitely about their white power and white supremacy. They was most definitely about their white power and their white frequency and white supremacy. You could believe that. But anyway, family, we're gonna end this one here. Appreciate y'all conversation, man. We breaking it down. We putting our spirit in alignment of where we need to be going, and we're gonna continue to head in that direction. We're not turning back for nobody. You feel me? We ain't turning back for nobody. Let these niggas do what they gonna do, but liberation is that way, and that's the way we going. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all get over there to Patreon. Link at the top of the chat, man. Check out the 24-hour live stream. It's fire, family. Believe me. And support, family. I'll see y'all soon. We're gonna have a powerful day today. It's Monday, November 17th. and we're going to have an off the chain motherfucking day today. All right, family, y'all stay safe, be black, and man, believe in the victory because it's ours. All right, Black Power.